In Canada has always had a strong tradition of singers-songwriters, people like Gordon Lightfoot, Joni Mitchell, Hank Snow, Wilf Carter, Murray McLaughlin. You can add another name to that list now, that of Tom Cochrane. Cochrane and the band Red Rider have a new album out, and 2 singles from it are now on the charts. They also started a tour of Eastern Canada recently, and their first concert was in the Arts and Culture Centre in St. John's, Newfoundland. Steve Warden prepared the story.
Tom Cochrane's been around the Canadian music scene for nearly 15 years. He's made 7 albums, 2 of them are certified gold, 2 platinum. The hip American cop show Miami Vice has used his songs, and he's often been the darling of music critics. But the native of Lynn Lake, Manitoba has never been comfortable with the business of rock and roll. He was involved in a stormy and ultimately doomed relationship with this country's most powerful rock manager, Bruce Allen. And Cochrane's maintained a low profile. In fact, he only recently changed the group's name from Red Rider to Tom Cochrane and Red Rider.
For me, it's like a juggling act, being an artist, being a creative person, because there's that part of you that wants to do something that's completely unique and that's different and just follow your own intuitive, your creative instinct. And then there's that part of you that says you got to make a living at it. And that's the negative side, because whenever I let that side take over, I get into trouble.
Greg Quill is a music columnist for the Toronto Star who's followed Tom Cochrane's career.
I think he's one of the 5 best songwriters this country has produced, and I would have said that if I hadn't been a rock critic. I just love his music, and I'd buy it and have bought it just for pleasure. He's a wonderful, humble man to talk to, and a great thinker, a very bright guy, and you don't find bright guys in rock and roll very often.
In the past, Tom Cochrane's music has dealt with subjects not usually covered by rock and rollers. He's written songs about poets like Pablo Neruda and Arthur Rimbaud. He even wrote a tribute to the war hero Raoul Wallenberg. But when he went in to record his latest album, he decided to make a more personal statement.
I just turned 31, and I've lost and I have won. And still I kept my dreams alive, because the boy will never die.
I think on this record, I felt I had to get in touch with certain things. I didn't want to just write pop songs, formula pop songs, for the sake of writing songs. Songs have to mean something, and they have to have something special to say. Otherwise, you're just retracing, other people's footsteps,
When I turned 25, we were hungry, we had dry. And then I turned much older then.
After a disappointing album in 1984, Cochrane and partner Ken Greer decided to forsake overdubs and drum machines and return to their roots. The result is the album Tom Cochrane and Red Rider. The first single was The Boy Inside the Man, a song that reaffirms the ideals Cochrane started with 15 years ago. He calls it gothic rock and roll, an eclectic stew of influences ranging from Woody Guthrie to Led Zeppelin.
In any country, this road leads everywhere. A road that leads down to the sea.
The album has sold more than 100,000 copies in the U.S. and is close to the same figure here. Respectable numbers, but hardly the stuff of superstardom. Then again, Tom Cochrane's never said he was in this to be a star.
I'm committed to what I do, and I'm in it for the long run, not the big kill. I don't believe in putting stardom and success first. I believe that those are byproducts of doing something you really love to do.
For Midday, I'm Steve Warden.